my name is Hayne. I'm one of the Springbox reviewers, and this is actually the last live for the Springbox. So today, if Minion will let me do a live video, you can't see him, but he's trying to scratch at my arm. Okay, come down. Anyway, today, because it's the last live, this was going to be my last thoughts on it. So I figured I would show you, number one, how much did I use of each product? And the more exciting thing, what would I actually buy from the box? In terms of full size, and would I get the box again? Hi, Madeline! I know we're here, we're at my last live. So, how much did I use? The one thing I used absolutely every day, both AM and PM, is Blush Beauty Oil. And you guys, there's like half of this left. So, and I was very generous with using it AM and PM. Hi, Natalie! So Blush Beauty Oil I used every day, and we have actually a little more than half. And I knocked this over one day from my stand, and I caught it. It didn't like fall all the way to the floor. It just did one of those like awkward knockover things. So this has been knocked over already, and it's still that much left. And then everyday AM, I used Pearl and Lotus Serum Mist every single day. And you saw my video yesterday, but this is how much Lotus Serum Mist I have left. So this is quite a lot, and I would do 1 or 2 sprays. And with Pearl, I've peeled back the label to show you how much I have left. I used Pearl almost every day, and there's definitely more than half left. I'm a lot stingier with the Pearl because it's a thicker texture, but it's still, after 5 weeks of use, almost every day in the morning. And then my absolute everyday PM, obviously, is Dorian Gray. This one I was not so stingy with, so it's like, I don't know, like 10-20% of it left. So those were kind of my everyday go-tos. And then what I used for spot treatment was Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack for all my little stress spots and so on and so forth. And despite it being a spot treatment, I used quite a bit of this, but I still have enough. Natalie asked, Pearl all over. Yes, Pearl actually like all over. Yeah, pretty much all over because I wanted to highlight with the glow and everything. And Madeline says her Lotus Serum Mist is all gone, as is her Dorian Gray. Or Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack. And then the one I ended up using the least of, but still used, was After Sun. Sorry. And it's mostly because Michigan, still, despite it being like relatively sunny for this spring, still didn't need to use a lot of it. I found a passable sunscreen to use, so that one was a spot treatment for me. But I still have about half left, so I used up a half of this. I would still say it's a must in the spring box. And then last but not least, oh, also I can't show you the rose lip tint because my mom's using it because I gave it to her, and she says she has like half left. So she's been using it every day. So we'll have to take her word for it. Carol says her After Sun is all gone too. So those of you in like the sunnier climates definitely would use a lot more of the After Sun, but again, I live in Michigan, and today I tried to have some natural lighting in, but the sun is going down. Anyway, the sun was out today. So last but not least, Camellia Rose Mask. I'd say that's about a fourth to a third left, and I would use this anywhere between 2 and 4 times a week with my other masks. So if you have any questions on how I used it, how much, let me know in the comments, but I'm gonna move forward. Thanks, Gretchen. I am feeling a lot better. The migraine is gone, so we're gonna do a full 30 minutes for my last live today. Yay! I'm really excited. I napped all day. It's good. So I want to tell you how amazing it is that I have this much left of products, because at about week 2 or so, my husband started using these products. So what he and I used together was the Camellia Rose Mask. So this is how much is left with 2 people using it between 2 and 4 times a week. So after 5 weeks of use, that's pretty amazing. And then also Dorian Gray we would use together. Do note that he only does a PM routine because I'm not there in the morning to do his routine for him, like literally hand him the products. I'm seeing a question. Sorry if it's been asked before. Natalie asked, do you use after sun before or after moisturizers, or do you just apply after being in the sun anytime? So after sun can be used as its own moisturizer from what I understand. I would say because it's thicker, I would use it last. Let's see what the fine print says. Yeah, apply on sunburned skin. So I would just use it as a spot treatment. For me, it was still the last step in my PM routine because AM, I wouldn't really use it. Yeah, I would say it would go absolutely last. But it really depends on what moisturizers you have. Right now, the thicker moisturizers I have, which would be Donkey, where did it go? Oh, my Donkey Cream, yes, sorry. Would be Donkey Cream, which I'm not using, so After Sun would be my thickest, so it would go last. Let's see what else. So anyway, my husband also wanted me to know that he has a larger face than me, so that's why there's only this much left of Dorian Gray, because he would ask me to slather the anti-aging stuff on. Gretchen asked, did you find Pearl thicker than After Sun or not as much? I find Pearl very thick. I do find Pearl very thick, which is why I have about, I would say 2/3 left. So I only use very, very little at a time. But speaking of Pearl, my husband also used Pearl about 2 to 3 times a week for part of his PM routine. So, that's still a lot. I would use a lot more for him because he actually in the end didn't mind the texture of it. The only thing with us is that we have 3 dogs, and speaking of dogs, I have more dog hairs on my face. We have 3 dogs, and the stickiness kind of makes the dog hairs stick to it, but that's okay. He would also use blush nightly, almost every day, and Lotus Hair Mist, he didn't really like the spray feel, so only about once a week or so. Gretchen asked, did he like it? Which one? Tell me more. Did he like which one? But I will tell you what he did like. Obviously the anti-aging stuff, he's in his 40s, so he's all about the anti-aging. So he really liked Dorian Gray. He also liked Blush Beauty Oil, which was surprising, but mostly because, and we mentioned this before, in this area, in the shaving area, he has stubble here and stubble here. You get a lot of flakes, like right in this area. And after we started doing this routine, especially with Blush Beauty Oil, a lot of the flakes in this area went away, so he actually really likes Blush Beauty Oil. Oh, Gretchen asked if hubby liked Pearl. Initially, he was not very happy with it because it was so thick in terms of texture, so that was a big thing for him. He was like, oh, it's very sticky, I don't really like it. But not many complaints afterwards, especially as like we started layering on more things. So it wasn't his absolute favorite, but I would say he still liked using it. So he liked the sheen of it. It definitely gives your face a noticeable glow afterwards, so he tends to like the insta resulty ones like vacuum cleaner cleansing oil and Pearl. So there's that. Any other questions on the usage or anything else? So I have not really run out of anything despite it being week 5 and using almost all of these products every day. Except for maybe, I think Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack. This one, I'm really down to the bottom of. but I think it's like, even if you experiment around and use it every day, you'll get really good use out of the spring box, and all the different products there are and treatment for different things. So now, what would I buy in terms of like a full size from the box? I thought that would be something folks would be interested in. So I already got Dorian Gray Anti-Aging. Yeah, I would still say that's hands down my favorite, because the results are great. Mostly it's for hubby, and also for me it's this under eye spot, which again, if you didn't read the post on it, found out it was from a hot oil splatter many years ago. So it's actually a little bit of a burn mark, this discoloration. I thought it was something from like acne, but my mom reminded me that no, it's a burn mark, cooking oil mark. And this is lightened up quite a bit. Like the inner part of it is still pretty dark, but like the outer tinges, it used to be a lot larger in radius. And I feel like it's gotten a lot better with Dorian Gray Anti-Aging Serum. And so I think I'll be experimenting between that and Glow, but both of them are really, really helpful with evening out some of the darker spots that you have. Katie asked, do you apply blush last before moisturizer, or do you feel you don't need a moisturizer after it? I don't know about moisturizers. For me, blush is kind of like that binding product. I'm mindful of when I use blush because, what is it? Where did all my sticky things go? So I will make sure that I layer blush right before Donkey Milk Gel Saving Pack, or that I'll layer it on right before Glow. So anything with like the stickier, what you feel like is the stickier products. Same thing with Pearl. So I don't know where it goes in terms of moisturizers, but for me it's always like, am I going to put something very, very sticky on afterwards? In which case, probably I should put on blush. Or if I'm going to put on makeup that day, so like a BB cream or a foundation or whatever, I'll make sure blush is the last thing I use instead of a moisturizer. So, let me see if I've missed any questions. Gretchen, you don't sound like a stalker. I highly, highly appreciate it. Oh my god, I really liked your videos with your daughter, Carol. That was fun too. You're a monster. So yeah, Katie, hopefully that answers your question. So it's more of in terms of, is your moisturizer a lot thicker, and does it tend to dry flaky? If so, then yes, put on the blush. But in terms of consistency, it's definitely thicker than Piper's Pete. And a little less thick than Vacuum Cleaner Cleansing Oil. So there's that. So anyways, what would I buy from the spring box that I already haven't bought or gotten as a gift? So yeah, definitely Dorian Gray Anti-Aging Serum. But this is like a surprise to me too. When I first got the box, I pretty much knew Dorian Gray was like the most interesting product in it because I've heard so much about it, and it's anti-aging, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna do stuff for my dark spots. So I was really excited for it. And to be very honest, I was not really excited for Pearl because when I first started trying to apply it, I think Gretchen mentioned this too, it was so thick, like very, very thick, and it went on and I didn't know how much to put on, and it was just very thick. So I was just kind of like, I don't know about you, little Pearl. And then, like, every time I put Pearl on in the morning and I would go to work, my coworkers were like, did you put, like, extra makeup on today? You're very out there with the glow. I'm like, oh my god, that must be Pearl. And so kind of, I noticed that when I put on Pearl. So it helps with, like, the Insta Sheen. So as long as you kind of put just a few droplets on, And make sure you layer the blush or Piper's Pete or another type of oil product underneath it and just spread it very, very thinly. Then it's really, really great for Insta Sheen. I put it on, and I commented too, on like really dull, rainy days when I'm just feeling blah. Then yeah, just a really thin layer of it, and I really like it. I'm gonna miss it, so I would definitely say this is one of my favorites. Gretchen, when does Pearl go on then for Sheen? Yeah, Pearl definitely, it takes a bit to dry. It takes a bit to get used to. There must be like, I think I only use like maybe one small drop and just, oh, sorry, got like dog hairs on my face everywhere. Like 1 or 2 very small droplets and just spread it really thin, especially on the brow and bone area and like right here and just everywhere. Oil first and then Pearl, because Pearl is very, very thick. So I would do the oil first. So spread all the oil out and then make sure you wait until the oil soaks in, because when the oil doesn't soak in, then the pearl is going to feel a lot thicker. And Natalie also says Pearl goes very well after Pete. Yeah, I think that's kind of my go-to recommendation for any of the thicker or stickier serums, pressed serums, so on and so forth, is to layer an oily product underneath it. So what I mean by oily is Piper's Pete. Oh, I just got Camellia Gold, so I'm really excited to try that too. So I'm gonna kind of play around with Camellia Gold and also Pearl. Last step, oil, Pearl, and then done. I usually stop with Pearl if I'm gonna use it for Sheen, but that's just me, so that's what I would do. Do I rub, Anne asked, do I rub Pearl in my palms before playing? Not really, because I feel like it's too thick to do that, and mostly I just have dog hairs everywhere, so no matter how many times I wash my hands, I try not to rub any product in my hands first, just use the tip of my finger and just put it on. So I definitely really, really liked Pearl. In terms of sunscreen, Gretchen, I would use sunscreen definitely over Pearl. I don't think it'll mess with the sheen at all. But again, experiment, because I haven't really used it much with sunscreen, I would say. So yes, it's always a constant struggle with Pearl, and that's part of why I use Pearl in the AM, is because if I use it in the PM, then like I wake up with a face full of dog hair. So it's a struggle with 3 dogs. And speaking of dogs, hi Minion. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Yeah, you heard me bad talking you and your fur mess. Your fur mess. Hey. Hey. Yeah. You make everything for you. Oh no licking the face. No. Okay. Minion says hello. I know, why are you making funny noises? He's very shy. Alright, we'll let him go down. No? Or you can stay here while mommy talks. Alright, that's fine too. Anyway, so Pearl would definitely be a buy for me. It's just got instant sheen. I really like it, how it feels on my skin. But it definitely did take getting used to. So, you know, kind of gauge on your own. And my second favorite product, like absolute favorite product, if you can't tell already, would be Blush Beauty Oil. For me, it's suddenly like one of my core products, because it plays so well with the Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack, like right before. Yes. He's like, I don't like this camera thing. Alright, you can go down now. So yeah, blush does really well right before you put on your makeup. And it does really well with the stickier serums or the sleeping packs and so on and so forth. So it's just a really easy product to use. And I would also use it as the days when I would wake up too late for work. So I've got like 10 minutes to get everything ready. And you know, you take a quick sweep of all your products, you're like, okay, what's really fast and can fix my face really fast. And that would be blush. So on the days when I wake up really late for work, I'm just like, oh, fix me up, blush, fix me up, do it. It's like the Superman, what is it called? Phone booth routine. It's just slather on blush and pat it all in and massage it in. Natalie asked if I use blush both AM and PM. Yes, I do. I do use, excuse me, both AM and PM. And I still have like this much left. So I think that's awesome. So there we are with my two favorites, and my sort of cheap favorite, because I already knew it would be a favorite, is the Dorian Gray anti-aging serum. So, do you guys have any questions for me about using the spring box? It's our last live together, so use it wisely. Isn't that right, Minion? Isn't that right? Minion's like, I don't understand. Actually, he doesn't understand English, so it's probably why he's looking very confused. He's got very few English words that he understands. It's mostly Korean, so he's like, Mommy's just talking about things I don't know. Mingo, 내려가. Good boy. Okay, so overall, though, I've really enjoyed using all of the Springbox products. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, Madeline has a question. Ever put Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack as a light moisturizer on oily spots? I don't think I've used it that way. I've just been so gung-ho with using it on all my stress spots. Oh, and also, yeah, I had a hard time narrowing down to, like, my favorites. So Donkey Milk Gel Sleeping Pack would be, like, really, really close to being in my top two. I used it a ton for all the stress spots that I get on my face during the day when my blood pressure keeps going and my coworkers are being stupid and just not understanding my emails. And I just want to send back, per my last email, you're an idiot. So I get stress spots. And so I come home and I slather on, I like literally slather on, which is why I only have like 2 uses left. So that one I really like too. So I really enjoyed using all the different products. It's been a lot of fun, and it's so thoughtful, and I know I put this everywhere. The box is like, there's something for each of your spring issues. You know, this is like the work issues, when you just feel like you need a refresher during the day. And then Insta Sheen Pearl, and Insta Anti-Aging, and Insta Sunscreen Fix, and the exfoliating of the Camellia Rose, and then obviously the Superman Phone Booth Routine Blush. So I hope you guys are like as excited as I was to use all the Springbox products and experiment with it. Again, some of these are just suggestions that I found as tips, like using the blush beauty oil before the stickier products and the order of things. So do what feels right for you. That's my biggest takeaway. You've seen with all 4 of us that we have different application ways, we have different orders, different suggestions. So again, we live in all these different climates, we have all different types of skin, all different types of concerns regarding our skin. So definitely play around. You don't have to use like all 5, 6 products in one day as a layering routine. You can just do one on a day, like if you wake up too late for work, like me. Roselle says, I can't wait to try After Sun. Oh my goodness, and that's kind of like I'm also just hoarding it just for the scent. I know that sounds really bad, but it's like I'll just sit here and come home and just, I don't even use it, or I don't even need it because I didn't get sunburned that day, but I'll just like open it up and just sniff away and then, yeah, actually do my routine. So there's that. I'll still be in the group, I just won't be doing the lives anymore. So Springbox drops in 1 week from today. If you guys get it and have any questions, I'm sure we'll be answering if you have any questions on those. Otherwise, I will see you guys all again in the group as just a normal person and not as Springbox reviewers. You guys have been so much fun to do the lives with and do all the commenting with and the dailies and so on and so forth. So thank you. Everyone's been really thoughtful. Minion, except Minion. Minion's not thoughtful, eh? It's just like, Mommy, are you done yet? Can we play and eat ice cream? Oh, and then one last question from Madeline. What did you say is full size for your next purses? 100% pearl and 100% blush beauty oil. So I will continue updating with things from hubby because he's now on, on board with using skincare products and having a routine. So there's that. So you'll still see me in the group, but not via the lives. Thank you so much, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to our Sabbatical Beauty video channel on YouTube, and I will see you all regularly in the group. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.